Turbo Conquering Mega Eagle! Alright then, how you doing folks? Okay, you're joining me today on this beautiful day to what we're going to do, put a seat and a steering mechanism in this homemade dump truck, the dump truck of all dump trucks. It's okay, so the seat's a logical place to start with the controls. I know that doesn't sound logical, but you know, if you don't know where you're sitting, I suppose you're never going to get anything in the right place, will you? So, well, I was just going to put this seat on it, but then, you know, I found a couple of old mountain bike shocks. They were new. You know, the shock absorbers for the rear of a full suspension mountain bike that I bought for another project a while ago, a long time ago, and decided to put one of them on the seat. So this is what I'm up to right now, just cutting out a mounting pad for the seat itself. Always trying to pick a new tool to do a job, whether I like the plasma cutter or a jigsaw for cutting wavy lines. You know, obviously this time I decided on a jigsaw, eh? It's nice to have those choices in life, isn't it? Okay, and here it is getting welded onto the sort of pivoting arm for the seat. Yeah. Tappity tap tap. Go on. Find the hole. Any hole will do. And there we go. There's the seat going on. It's an old. Well, it's not an old tractor seat. It's a brand new tractor seat. Like these. I think they're reproduction T20 seats. You know, old not Massey Ferguson, old Ferguson seats. Pre Massey Ferguson days, I suppose. But there we go. There's the seat. Stuck on its shock absorber. Lovely, look at that. Oh, what a commanding view of the world. Yeah, there were some sound effects that went along with that, but awesome. Yep. Definitely got some travel in that suspension, but I do not think those shocks are. I don't think the springs are stiff enough. But anyway, we'll tackle that another day. Here we've got an old garden tractor gearbox. I think it's a garden tractor gearbox. I think I picked it up from the side of the road. Only half of it was there, and just left it in my pile of interesting bits outside, as you can probably tell. But we need some gears for our steering, so pulled that all apart and just got them cleaned up. These are sintered gears, so well, some of them were, half of them. The bigger ones were sintered, the smaller ones were just machined. But you know, I cleaned them up with the degreaser here, and then stuck them in the ultrasonic bath, and the sintered gears still had, you know, it was still saturated with oil. So when I welded them, you know, it burst into flames, and that I ended up having to cook them all with the blowtorch. I'm just trying to figure out which ones go together here. Yeah, it's like a game of not dominoes. What's the other one? Checkers, I suppose. Mechanical checkers. Oh. All right. So we've got my gears selected, and need to make some shafts for them now. To go in the gearbox. Just doing that out of 30mm stock. Huh. If you say so. Here they are, 3 little shafties. Might fit. Looks like it'll fit. I don't know. So there's the gear shaft closest to me is the output. Then there's a lay shaft in the middle, and then the input on the left hand side. Either way, it'll all become apparent. Obviously, I can't do anything about hacking up a bit of this scrap 10mm structural steel that I have. That seems to be in every project I do at the minute, or every chapter of this dump truck build. Yeah. So it's important to get my holes in the right place. So I'm doing what I always do, and just welded the two bits together, so I can drill all my holes, and then there's no way they're not going to match up. It's the most foolproof way for someone like me to get any degree of accuracy, I suppose. Lots of holes. It's about an inch of material I'm going through there. Not quite an inch. 20mm, so 7/8, I suppose. Alright, time to separate them. Oh, lovely. There's a bit of tapping going on here. So this is going to be the bottom plate of the gearbox, I suppose. Need support on either end of those shafts that I'd turned, with the gears being in between. And some spacers. So obviously I didn't want to grip the shafts when I screwed the two plates together. So these are just some spacers I turned down, just to space the two halves of the gearbox casing apart, which isn't really a casing. It's not even a box, is it? And here's the finished box. Okay. So you can see I've stepped it down. It's probably only 2-to-1, to be honest, but this was the best I could do with the gears I had, and you can probably tell in there that there's been some welding carnage with those gears. Still oil floating around. Okay, onto some tie rods. What we need to connect the steering box to the wheels. Yeah, tie rods, track rods. I don't know. I'm not a motor vehicle mechanic. Just a bit of 20mm pipe with some 10mm thread poking out one end, and I've got to bend them to clearance everything on the frame of the truck. It's basically a dog leg and then a little kink at the other end. I've already done one, so I'm just using that as a template to do the other. Oh. Okay, and that's why I welded the thread on the end, so I can take a ball joint. Obviously the ball joints inside the vehicle are going to be fine. I'll just smother them in grease, but the ones outside I will find some boots for them at some point. Otherwise they'll go bad very, very quickly, because these are not expensive rod ends. They were cheap. I don't mind admitting that. They're probably going to go bad pretty quickly, but you know, I'm not going to be going at extravagant speeds in this thing, am I? And there we go. Both wheels move at about the same time, don't they? We're probably going to need a steering wheel or something like that, I suppose. Okay, So I was just started playing around with nylon recently, and looking for any excuse to use it. So this is gonna make up the bearing in the steering shaft, I suppose you'd call it. Steering column bearing. I don't know. Take your pick. Call it what you like. I'm not fussed. Okay, so here it is on the lathe. This is before I figured out I needed the tailstock, I think. Yep, there we go. it's not the same as steel, is it? Like I say, I'm pretty new to messing around with this stuff, but it's good useful stuff. Perfect application for it, I think. So I'm probably not using the right cutting tools for it at the minute. I need to read up on that. Everything I've said just says normal cutting tools, just very sharp. But there's got to be a better way of working with it and not having such a bird's nest of swarf, I suppose. Yeah. Either way, I just did a trial fitted the nylon bush into that steel pipe, and it has to come out again, but it's just a trial fit. And this is why it has to come out again, because I was going to weld a big lump of steel to that pipe. Yeah. I think those two uprights have appeared without any video as well, but that's part of the chassis now, I suppose. Okay, alright, and on to the steering wheel. So again, can't do anything without chopping up a bit of this a bit of this steel I found. It's going to be the hub of the steering wheel. I don't know why I was using the little grinder on the other bit. Big grinder just eats it up. Makes a lot of dust though. Okay, so I made it as round as possible with the grinder, and then drilled a hole in it, and we're just welding the steering shaft itself to the hub of the steering wheel. And now I'll put the shaft through the chuck in the lathe and just truing up the hub. It's not that it needs to be perfectly flat, it's just it needed to be nice and round, and as it was in the lathe anyway, this seemed like a good way of cleaning all the rust and paint off it, you know. I could put a little bit of detail in it as well. Okay. Oh, this is a nice opportunity to showcase my my new invention. I'll call it the circular graphomatic, patent pending. Might be nice to make a more sensible workshop compass at some point. I have a few little ones, but this is my only big one, and it's a bit of a handful. You need a spanner to operate it, which isn't really good, is it? Okay, so there's the finished shaft with this hub. I'm just getting everything laid out so I don't have a wonky wheel. That's the hand wheel of a wheelchair. Yeah, that's the bit that sticks sticks out the side of the traditional wheel, so that you can hand grip. I don't know what you call it. But it's off a wheelchair anyway. Nice sort of size for a steering wheel. Just welding some spokes in. It's got 12 spokes and all. You only see me put 4 in here, but you know, nearly went with 8. Glad I went with 12. Okay, right, this little collar, this connects the shaft to the gearbox. So while I'm using my hand instead of getting a hammer, it's like the original soft face hammer, isn't it? One of your meat hooks. Okay, and now we're putting that nylon bush back in a bit of tube, pipe, whatever. Went most of the way and then got hung up. That'll do it. Yeah. And the steering column. Must be there. Beautiful. Look at that. I don't think it's quite there. Maybe it's there? Yeah, it's there. Hello. Right then, folks. I've got my steering sorted. Nice big wheel and a seat. Oh, a nice bit. You've got to have a big steering wheel, you know. The last thing I wanted was to have a go-kart style steering. Really, what I wanted was to be able to palm the steering wheel around, but it would have taken a lot more gearing like that. All boss-eyed, folks. What's happened? Oh, that wheel's about to come off. Meh. Okay, no drama, no real drama. Anyway, what is going on with that? Oh, I haven't done the bolts up tight. Anyway, no. All right, well, it's all got to come apart for painting, but it does work. Promise it works. Unless those tie rods are straightening it. They're not straightening it, are they? Nah. What is going on there? Something's happening. Yeah, just because I left all the bolts loose. Bastard thing. I suppose I could be stretching those tie rods out, couldn't I? Anyway, that's the general gist of it. Yeah, it's all pretty heavy. It's all pretty. I didn't want anything bending in that. Let's take the camera off the tripod and have a little look at this. Okay. So what have I done? I put the seat on. You saw me put the seat on at the beginning. I did get carried away and put some suspension on that. That's nice. It's going to be a nice squishy ride. The steering box, I don't know. I would have liked to have had the steering a little bit lighter. You know, think more like a forklift than a go-kart, where you've got, I don't know, my days of driving forklifts. Probably about 2.5 turns lock to lock, isn't it? But yeah, I've got about 3/4 of a turn. Obviously, if I'd just done go-kart steering, I would have only been able to get I don't know, less than half a turn. Probably 1/3 of a turn, isn't it? And your classic go-kart steering, right? Classic go-kart steering, you just have the steering column coming up from there, wouldn't you? I drilled another set of holes for this. Why did I do that? I needed to move these closer in because it was trying to over travel with the tie rods out here, but with them closer to the pivot, and I can move them even closer, to be honest. I might do that actually, and that will lighten the steering up even more. And then made this beautiful chuffing steering wheel. I think you'll agree, this is a masterpiece. Eh? It's the nicest looking bit of metal I've ever created. What a beauty! I don't know if it's more 1950s light commercial, I suppose. You know, which isn't a bad look, as long as it's a British one. I don't know. There've been some nice light commercials from other other parts of the world, I suppose. I'm a particularly big fan of Citroen H fans. You know, I don't think anyone's ever created anything quite so ugly yet purposeful. Anywho's, little bit of slop in those spur gears to be expected, but I can steer one-handed, and let's face it, I'm pretty much sat on top of these bad boys. I haven't even adjusted these, and the wheel nuts are loose at the minute. It's all got to come apart for paint, and I've got to do obviously some foot controls down there, but that's about all I've got left to do. Just some controls. I've got to have a reverse. I'm trying to decide whether to put reverse on the foot, on the left hand foot, because I'll have accelerator brake this side of the shaft, and I could easily just have a little forward reverse or forward reverse and just do the gears with my foot. Then that'll leave my hand free to operate the hydraulic pump for the tipper bed. God, it's looking sexy. There's a lot going on here, and it's all coming together. Anywho, all right, I've got a lot to do still, but not that much. You know, definitely on the home straight with this whole girl. Yeah, and it's about time too. So I'll sign off, folks, and wish you all happy Christmas or happy birthday or whatever's next for you, and what. I'll catch you again soon, won't I? Alright folks, take care, bye bye.